Так, ну что, мы готовы начать?
Да, можно начинать. Я думаю, что
Давай
еще
начнем,
присоединятся люди, но можем
Да,
начать.
люди. Okay, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Yes, how are you?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you everyone for joining us today on Human Light System course number 2 for lecture number 7 conducted by Dr. Konstantin Korotkov. Thank you so much, Dr. Korotkov, for spending this time with us. You are providing us a beautiful and fascinating service by opening our eyes, hearts, and minds to a miraculous world. May we always emanate loving energy. So what is energy? That's the topic of today's lecture.
Yes, absolutely. Today is the topic of this lecture. Today is what is energy. Okay, so I hope that it will be more people joining us, and that's why it will be not only for two of us. Okay, so let's discuss about energy, because it's a very important topic. And now I want to shift to presentation, because this is the main goal, to show everything from presentation. Okay, do you see my screen?
Yes.
This presentation, can you see it?
Yes, we can.
Okay, very good, very good. So now you see this first screen, energy, and what's energy. And of course, it's a very complicated topic, but I always follow this saying of Albert Einstein that everything should be as simple as possible, but not simpler. So let's go and talk about what is energy. Energy, it's a general quantitative measure of any type of movement, activity, and the interaction of all types of matter. So this is very precise physical definition. And we are following this definition. So energy in nature doesn't come from nothing and doesn't disappear. It can only be transferred from one form to another form. That is, again, very important. Of course, now Rupert Sheldrake doubts this thesis. He told that it wasn't proven really, but we are staying on this topic and we follow these more accepted rules. Next topic, that the concept of energy binds everything together, all natural phenomena. So this is the basic notion of life. Energy is the capacity to change a physical system. So only using energy we can change something in any physical system. And energy, it's a medium for the organization and transformation of information and structure. So we tell that energy, it's the basis of everything, and only using energy we can transform structure of any subject, and we can create and deliver information. So nature exists only as open system, which can constantly exchange energy and information with the environment. The human organism is an open system connected to Earth, Sun, and universe. And we'll discuss this a little bit later about what is an open system. So let's discuss what types of energy we have. So let's imagine we have some hill and we have some ball laying down at the hill. So if we apply some force, some energy, then we give this ball some kinetic energy for movement. And ball can move up and increase, go up to the hill, and finally come to the top of the hill. So this we need to apply our own energy to move this ball from down to the up. But then ball can come down, and at this moment, this ball has potential energy. So it means energy related to the initial condition. So our kinetic energy that we apply to this ball was transformed to its potential energy. And now it has some potential energy. Now then it comes down, and when it came down, it has some energy difference from previous situation to existing situation. And we can tell that this ball is in excited energy state. It is in some energy difference. And of course, it has a lot of applications in our everyday life. Let's imagine we fall down from the cliff, like those guys, or more simple, and by falling down, we transform our potential energy into some kinetic energy. And of course, would they not use their parachutes, then you understand the impact would be not very pleasant. So when we fall down from somewhere, due to our potential energy transformed to kinetic energy back, impact may be very strong. Now, please tell me, if we are falling down from, for example, third floor, of course, it would be very unpleasant, and most probable something will be broken, some bones or even worse. But let's imagine it's a little kitten fall down from the third floor. What would be? Kitten practically would be unharmed. Why? It has the same potential energy. And we know also the speed of his movement would be same, but the power of impact would be much, much less because, of course, the difference of mass. Our mass of human being, of adult, and the weight of this little kid. So, chemical energy is made up of the kinetic energy of the movement of electrons and the electrical energy of the interaction of electrons among themselves and with atomic nuclei. So, when we talk about chemical energy, we understand that this is the origin of any chemical energy. It's a movement, but movement of some particles. So internal energy is equal to the sum of the kinetic energy of molecular movements around the center of the body mass and the potential energies resulting from the interaction of molecules among themselves. So we can tell that energy is in everything around ourselves. In every subject that we have in our world, we have some amount of energy. And this is, of course, the origin of physics. So all physical notions may be extracted from this notion of energy. Now we need to discuss another very important topic that is related to the notion of energy, and this is the topic of entropy. The notion of entropy was introduced in 19th century, but in physics, to describe the measure of microscopic configurations of a thermodynamic systems. In simple words, entropy is the measure of chaos. You see, we see in this picture, one structure is very ordered, it has low entropy, and then it is disordered, and entropy is much, much higher. So, in a closed system, entropy may only increase, and we know this in our everyday life. So, if we leave our room unattended for a week, we come and we see that it will be more and more chaos, not to tell about chaos that may be created by any child during an hour. So, in any natural system, entropy increases by itself. Why? Because of normal movement of molecules. So that is the nature of our universe, that entropy always increases. And we know this on our everyday activity, everyday life. To keep order, you need to apply what? Energy. So to make your apartment in good order, you need to apply energy. Same in any process in our universe. And this conclusion was very, very important. And in 19th century, it was a very famous physicist, Lord Kelvin, William Thomson, who proposed that as we see increase of energy in our Earth, as we see increase of entropy, and increase of entropy is correlated with increase of temperature, then it is inevitable would be hot death of our universe. And it came from the law of thermodynamics. So he proposed that inevitable after some time our universe would be overheated, in particular our Earth will be overheated, and it will be global warming and everything collapse. And do you see that it reminds me what's going on now? Yes, the global warming. But it's another story. It's not a discussion. So this was a big question. And of course, religious people, they was very happy with this because they thought, yes, we are waiting the end of the Earth, the end of our life, and it will be now. We have this support from the science. The science tells that yes, it is inevitable. It will be the end of the universe. So it was a paradox, really serious paradox, and this paradox was resolved only about 70 years later by a very famous scientist, Ilya Prigozhin, who was a Belgian scientist, but originally he wasn't from Russia. So his parents migrated from Russia after the Russian Revolution. They were lucky, and he was lucky to live all his life as a scientist in Belgium. And he was able to resolve this paradox, to understand that we are not coming to the death of the universe. And he got Nobel Prize for his works. He created several lines of science, very important lines of science. So we should know his name because he was really one of the founder of the modern scientific creation, modern scientific life. So what he did, you know that Newtonian equations are time reversible.
Dr. Korotkov, sorry for interrupting. I can hear a noise in the speakers. I don't know if maybe you could adjust speakers a little bit because we cannot hear you clearly.
Okay. So how about this? Is it better now?
There is there is a noise. What about other participants? Is it only me or how you can hear it?
Noise may now. How about now?
Oh yeah, it's static. Yeah.
Is it better?
No. Still static noise. Yeah, everybody.
I'm afraid it comes from your side because here I have nothing. I am alone here. No equipment is running. So
Maybe you're holding the microphone too close because there is some static noise.
I don't know. How about this? Like this? How about this?
Still the same.
No, I'm afraid something on the line between ourselves. How about like this?
Okay, I tried to mute myself, so maybe.
No, I hear you very well. No noise, no interference, very well. So I don't know what is going on here. I don't know. Because from my side, everything is absolutely calm. Nobody around. No cats, no dogs, no children.
Okay,
No
okay,
people.
let's carry on. Okay, sorry, thank you.
So is it possible to hear what I'm saying?
It's sometimes it's not very clear, but yeah, it's possible. Yeah.
Okay, so it's up to you because still we have a lot of time still. so is it okay?
It's okay. Let's carry on. Thank you very much.
Okay, no problem. So of course we need to do it the best way. The best way. So again, let's proceed. So very important topic. It's a topic of time because you know that in Newtonian equations they are time reversible. It means that you can replace the time variable t by negative minus t in all equations, and they remain equally valid. And this is, of course, a paradox, because we understand that in our everyday life, we understand that time is non-reversible. When Aaron Schrödinger created his own wave function, this wave function again is time reversible. But we know that quantum events lead to the collapse of the wave function, so it should be irreversible. And again, it was a big question for science for centuries, because I understand we are using Newtonian equations, and we have no doubts that they are really right for some area of speed and distance. We are using Aaron Schrödinger wave function again. It works very well, but what about time? So Ilya Prigozhin was awarded a Nobel Prize in 1977 because he developed a line of so-named non-equilibrium thermodynamics, and in particular the theory of what he called dissipative structures. What is it? It is physical or chemical systems far from equilibrium conditions, and they appear to develop order out of chaos, and they are self-organizing. So, of course, we understand that all biological systems, they are self-organizing. We understand this. And and from a physical point of view, from the Prigozhin concept, matter and energy of low entropy flows through the dissipative structure, and this creates self-organization. And you can see it in our everyday life. Maybe you've seen this beautiful image when we fly on the airplane and we see underneath these clouds, and clouds look like a very well organized structure. And very often you can see very precise patterns on those clouds. So this is a very good example of self-organization of nature. And of course not all about biological life, because all biological life, it's self-organization. It's operation against entropy, using energy. But what energy? And Prigozhin perhaps the most famous name in chaos theory and complexity theory. His work is a minor reference today for popular concepts like a self-organization, complex systems, bifurcation points, non-linearity, attractors, symmetry breaking, morphogenesis, autocatalytic constraint, and of course irreversibility. So he's been using all these notions, all these terms, and he created new science using all these terms. And the main idea, the basis of everything, that our universe is an open system, far from equilibrium. So the notion of the hard death does not make sense. You understand this? That was very, very important conclusion, that we are all open systems. So we interact with environment all the time. We exchange energy. We exchange information with environment. And due to this exchange, we behave and we have our life. In next lectures, we'll discuss with you about the notion of biological field and biological energy. So, Prigozhin asserts that Newtonian physics has now been extended 3 times. First, with the use of the wave function in quantum mechanics, and we understand it was transition for some distances and from big distances to very low distances, tiny distances, quantum mechanics. Then with the introduction of space-time in general relativity, and again it was transition to absolutely new understanding of universe. That is why we can name Newton as one of the key geniuses of our civilization, and then we may have the name of Einstein as the next genius of our civilization. And finally, with the recognition of indeterminism in the study of unstable system. What does it mean, indeterminism? It means that life is unpredictable. You never know what could come from any action. It's very interesting that in Newtonian mechanics, it was very precise. You have some action and you have result. That is why it was a famous mathematician Laplace who told that give me initial conditions and I calculate the fate of the universe. So they believe that it's possible to define what would be next if you know what's going on now. So it is so-named determinism. Now with new concept developed by Prigozhin and other Haken and other scientists, it became clear that it is impossible. Life is unpredictable, and at any moment of our life we have so many bifurcation points. So you see, we are coming to any point, and we have one way or other way, and we need to choose to go right or left. And if we go right, then maybe all the left part will be closed for us. Then again we have another bifurcation point, and again we need to go right or left, then another, and this is the basis of everything. This is the basis of life. So every time in our life we have these bifurcation points. We need to make decisions. To which university to go, whether to go to school or go to work, whether to marry this guy or that guy, whether to go to the party and be drunk or not to go. So this is bifurcation points, little or strong, that we have in every point. And I like this very good picture by Russian painter Vasnitsov, who shows that this fighter, he came to the stone, and it's written in the stone that if you go to the right, you will be dead by fighting. If you go to the left, you will be dead by enemies. If you go forward, you will be dead by your fate. So that's the way, bifurcation points, where to go, to which direction. So it is very important notion. So now next one. So now.
Sorry, Dr. Korotkov, again, participants are complaining that it's really difficult to follow because of the noise. It's quite disturbing. There was a suggestion if you could probably to reboot your computer and turn it on again.
Okay,
Because
let's do it. Let's do it.
sorry for this, but it's quite hard to understand. It's
No,
not.
I understand. Of course, we need to make it, of course, good for everybody. Okay, so let's me try to reboot my computer and let's try to maybe.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, let's see if it's gonna work. Sorry, everyone, for this.
Okay, okay. Yes, I am glad that it worked very well. Okay, so shall we proceed with
Yes.
slides?
Yes, great. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Can you see my slides now? Can you see my screen with my slides?
No. I cannot.
No? Okay, so let's see. But we share screen, yes. Share screen.
Yep.
Okay. So now do you see this?
Yes, we do. Yes, great.
Okay. So let me see. Okay, now do you see this?
Yes.
Okay, now you see presentation. Okay.
Good. Thank you.
So now we can proceed, yes?
Yes, we can. Thank you very much.
Okay, I'm glad that everything worked. Okay, so now let's go to the next topic. What is matter? Matter is energy that has become condensed to hold a pattern. That is very important. So matter and energy is practically same. And it was shown by Einstein. He developed his equation, very famous equation, where he shows that energy and matter are interconnected. So it means that it takes enormous amount of energy to hold a persistent pattern. And of course, it was just theoretical equation, but then it was proven on experiment. Which experiment? Experiment with nuclear power. When relatively little amount of matter, several kilos or several tons, tens of pounds, created huge, tremendous energy. And you know that it was proven, unfortunately, on bombarding in Japan, and it was proven how devastating the results of this nuclear energy, that it's impossible to stop it, that it runs for decades, and everybody will be damaged. Then it was proven again that if we start nuclear war, it will be total disaster for the whole Earth. It will be nuclear winter. And no one can survive in this war. So now it is paradox, it's a big paradox of our life, that only due to atomic bombs and nuclear bombs, we have peace on the Earth on big scale. You understand the paradox? It was after the World War II, it was Soviet Union, it was United States, both countries was opposed to each other. It was several moments that they were ready to fight with each other, and only due to atomic bombs, it didn't happen. So that we can tell that we were saved by nuclear bombs. But now, of course, we can use this nuclear power for creating energy. And in principle, in the future, it is the only real big source of energy. Of course, we understand that it may be disastrous, maybe, and we had at least 3 main disasters with nuclear powers, but it gives scientists more and more lessons how to keep it, how to preserve it. But now you should understand that without nuclear power, it would be impossible to run many countries. Look, this is amount of energy, electrical energy, generated in different countries by nuclear reactors. And you see, in France, it is 76% of electric energy generated by nuclear power. In Russia, of course, it's not so much, practically same like in the United States, because both United States and Russia have many rivers, so we're using a lot of hydro energy. But you understand, to create hydro power plant, you need to flood a big territory. So it was a waste of territory. So you see that amount of nuclear reactors increasing worldwide. And of course, the main goal to keep this safe. So scientists, of course, working towards this, but from our point of view, it's inevitable to use this type of energy. So now let's come to next topic. What is human energy? Because we've been discussing what is energy. Now, next very important topic, what is human energy? And I would like to refer to famous scientist, Albert St. George, who was Nobel Prize winner, and who always proposed idea of quantum processes in life and the importance of quantum and electronic processes of life in life. So he wrote that I'm deeply sure that we will never be able to understand the essence of life if we restrict ourselves to the molecular level. A surprising subtlety of biological reactions is stipulated by the mobility of electrons and can be explained only from the position of quantum mechanics. So, what is the biophysical mechanism of life? We have this well-developed concept, and this concept is based on the interaction of energy in the universe. So the main source of energy, it is our sun. So we can tell that all life on the earth is based on sun energy. And we have system, we have mechanism that transform directly energy into matter. So it's direct transformation. What is it? Do you know? Yes, it is different vegetation, different plants. They consume energy of the sun in the form of photons. Then they use water and air to create matter. So it is absolutely clear quantum process, photosynthesis in chloroplast. So it is creation of matter from energy. Then, of course, there are different animals that eat those plants. Then they transform to other type of fat, albumin, carbohydrates. We process all this food, and we have very complicated system of food processing. That is why we are designed to process different types of food, both vegetation and different meats. And of course, you may be vegetarian, and there are whole nations of vegetarians, like in India. It depends on your metabolism, but naturally, human beings, they are carnivores and they eat meat. So doesn't matter. We have food, and what we do with our food. We process this food and we decompose this. Of course, it's very complicated process. It starts in the mouth, then esophagus, then our stomach, our colon system. Then there are several kilos of different bacteria, I would say, different microorganisms that take part in this process. And of course, we use oxygen in this process. So all it comes to total decomposition of food that we eat and using of electrons. So in principle, we need electrons to create adenosine diphosphate and then to transform to adenosine triphosphate. So this is the source of energy. But we need to understand that the main initial source of this energy, it is sun, air, and water. That's what we need. So biological life depends on using the energy of photons from the sun. This energy is converted into electron energy by photosynthesis in plants through a series of transformation in complex chains of albuminous molecules. This light energy is converted into energy for our body. Thus, biological life is based on light energy, and organic compounds serve as working material for the conversion of the energy. The basic ingredients for all conversations are water and air. From other point of view, electron excited states in complex molecular systems are the main reservoir of free energy in biological processes. Those excited states are continuously supported at the expense of electron circulation in the biosphere. So the main working substance is water, and the energy source is the sun. In other words, the notion of energy transfer, characteristic of the ideas of Eastern medicine, might be associated with the transport of electron excited states through molecular or protein complexes. And so we eat electrons and protons. And mitochondria is the main source of energy. And mitochondria is little organella in our cell. But this is the source, energy source of our body. And we have main amount of mitochondria in our brain. So it tells us that we have a lot of energy reserve in our body. In every cell of our body, we have energy reserve. So when we need to make physical or mental work, electrons distributed in protein structures and transported within their given place and provide the process of oxidative phosphorylation. So if we need to make physical activity, we send energy to our muscles, depending on which muscle we need. If we need to think, we send energy to our brain. If we need to make love, we send energy to other parts of our body. So you see, this is very well-organized process, and this process is based on energy of all the energy of the body. So life is based on light, air, and water. So this is the basis of life. And of course, now we know that there are people who can live practically or totally without food, only using water, light, and air. So, and it's proven that it's really possible, but to my mind, it may be very boring, because food is very important part of our life. And sun eaters, they of course they chosen this way of life, but to enjoy food, enjoy different type of food, it's a big pleasure in our life. So we are children of the sun, living on the light of the world, and we ourselves emit light. That is again very important topic. So we are light beings. We consume light and we emit light. And you know that in countries, in northern countries where there are very little sun in wintertime, it is very common winter depression. And we know very well because we live in far north of Russia. When you wake up in the morning and you see darkness outside, when you go to the office and it's dark, then of course it's very, very depressive. So now we have spring is coming, sun is outside, and it's an amazing station for all of us. So, and the bio instrument indirectly measures electron densities in human systems and organs, as well as the character of the stimulated electron currents. Those electron densities are the fundamental basis of the physiological energy. So we can state that with confidence that the bio instrument makes it possible to measure the body's potential energy. And in this extent, we have very important program, energy reserve program, that shows us reserve of the body. And now in our latest upgrade, if you are doing latest measurement, you can see percentage of your energy reserve. And if it is more than 10%, then it's acceptable, it's okay, it's normal. If more than 30, it is optimal. Of course, if it's below 0, then it is very troubleshooting moment. And we have now a lot of data, a lot of experience that show that this energy reserve program really gives us very valuable information. In my latest book, now we can find it published on Amazon.com, The Energy of Health. I am discussing a lot on this topic, on the topic of human energy and energy reserve. So, intercommunication in the organism, as well as its communication with the environment, comes on the level of photons and electrons. This is the basis of quantum regulation of the system homeostasis. This is dynamical process that changes every fraction of a second. Any bio image snapshot that we create can change in the next instant depending upon the stability of the organism functioning. We have to transform from an understanding of life as ever-changing dynamic energy process. That is very important. And if we look to life energy from biophysical point of view, you see that we receive, most of us receive energy from food, from decomposition of food, and we keep it as in our mitochondria, and then we can transform it to energy for our activity. So we have direct transformation through creatine phosphate. We have indirect transformation through triphosphate, diphosphate, and this allows us to have all actions. So we, very important, of course, the notion of glucose in blood, and we understand that this is the basis, but in modern society, this is one of the dangers, of course, and maybe at some moment I will present lecture on dangers of modern life, where I will be discussing on the danger of this blood glucose. So, sources of the energy of the body, it is first of all glucose, then acids, from food and our own acids, cation bodies, and when we have very long loading, and creatine, the splitting of our own proteins, primarily from muscles. So we have aerobic and anaerobic processes. And first, when we use our activity, when we use some muscle activity, we have first aerobic processes, but then we have anaerobic process. So it means that first we need to use oxygen, and then we can transform to our own reserves. And of course, it depends on training. Look, this is oxygen consumption, depending on speed of swimming. And we understand that if we compare beginners, they consume a lot of oxygen and they can develop only very low speed. And elite swimmers, they much less consumption. Only when they have very high speed, they need more oxygen. And then, of course, it depends on type of activity. In butterfly, you understand it's much higher energy and much higher consumption than another type of. It depends on type of muscles and in different type of activity. So it is beginners. Those are beginners. Different type of muscles, and trained and elite athletes. And of course, decrease of lactate threshold for depending, of course, for the beginners and for elite. So it shows us that, of course, we have same process of energy consumption in the body for different type of activity, whether it be physical or mental, but it depends on our training. And very important conclusion that the more brain power we use, the more active it may be. That is why if you want to be strong and healthy for long life, then you need to use your brain. And one more important topic. This is the topic of circadian rhythm of life. So we often have question, why do we have different rhythms in biowell? Just because of this. Because we are not just stable systems. We have rhythm. And we have everyday rhythm, and we have more deep rhythm. So the best indications of so named is cortisol panel. You know, cortisol is one of the key hormones in our body. And if we are measuring this cortisol by saliva, we see that the highest level of cortisol should be at 8 o'clock in the morning, when we should wake up. Of course, plus minus an hour. But it should be the highest, then it came down, and then by midnight, after midnight, it's coming up again. And look to the numbers. You see the range of cortisol. So it means if you make standard analysis, doesn't matter in which part of the day, you are measuring this level of cortisol. You have some number. This number has no meaning at all. Because it's not the number, but it's this cycle. And we can measure this energy cycle by biowell. You know that in our biowell mode, we have one finger mode, where we can measure only one finger several times. So it is the whole image of the fourth ring finger, measured 10 times at different time of the day. In the morning, you see, and it's the highest readings. Then later, it came down. Then at 5 o'clock, it came even lower. Then it jumped up. You see it, 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. And came down again at midnight. So, except of this jump at 8 p.m., we have this circadian rhythm that follows this cortisol level. Same, we can measure from adrenal system only, so only with this sector, and we have same pattern. So it means that energy follows this circadian pattern, and it is very, very important. And this pattern and type of transformation is again very important. One more very important measurement with BioWeld is measurement of one finger 10 times, and you can see dynamic of this signal. So if you are in good energy state, then this signal will be increasing. So with every readings, you will have increasing signal. If your energy state is not very good, then signal will be decreasing. And this is one very important indication of the energy condition together with energy reserve. And of course, we need to remember that we have this monthly cycle, monthly rhythm. And this monthly rhythm, it shows us when it comes down, when it's coming up. So when we have 2 or 3 cycles coming down, then it's not very positive moment for our activity. When we have everything up, then it's good moment for our activity. So that's how it shows up. So you see, it all shows us that we need to remember that we are energy beings, that we live on sun, we live on light, and we emit light. And with BioWeld, it is one of the best way how we can measure it and how we can evaluate not only some problems, but how we can evaluate really energy condition. And this presented now in my latest book. Let me show you maybe how it looks like. You can find this book now on Amazon.com. The name of this book is The Energy of Health. And this is the cover of this book. And you see that it's same picture that we are using in human life system. Because this is the same principle and the same idea. So this is what I wanted to tell you today, that I wanted to share with you today. So if you have some questions, I'm ready to answer questions. Okay? Okay, so do we have some questions?
Yes. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, very good.
The slides that you showed us that had the studies for every 5 seconds, was that over like 10 hours?
You mean my slides?
Yeah, you said you took a one finger picture every 5 seconds.
Yes.
How long was the duration?
See, it is one and the same finger that we apply to the electrode, and we take 10 subsequent measurements every 5 seconds. So it's
okay. So over a minute.
Yes. So it's about 1 minute. Yes, absolutely.
I see.
And that's important. I really suggest you, if you use BioWeld, to use this very important topic. Okay?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much for your time, for your attention. I hope it was interesting. And next month, I plan to make another lecture about different fields. What does it mean field? What does it mean biofield? How we understand this notion at the moment, and how we can use this notion. So if you are interested in this topic, then you are very welcome to join us. Okay? Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Korotkov, for spending this time with us, and looking forward to the next lecture with
Okay.
you.
Very good. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Okay, very good.
Thank you, Martina, for everything. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, Malcolm. Blessings. Have a nice day. Bye.
You too. Everyone. Bye.
Bye.